On the interview segment today, we'll be talking about traditional African medicine, the history of it, how it has developed so far, and also some of the challenges that come with it. I have a guest in the studio, but first, a backgrounder to set the pace.
Traditional medicine was the dominant medical system for millions of people in Africa prior to the arrival of the Europeans, who introduced evidence-based medicine, which was a noticeable turning point in the history of this tradition and culture. Herbal medicines in Africa are perceived to generally not adequately researched and are weakly regulated. There is a lack of the detailed documentation of the traditional knowledge, which is generally transferred orally. Serious adverse effects can result from misidentification or misuse of herbal plants. Stigmatization due to poor perceptions and attitudes are some of the reasons this culture has been sidelined. Len On Africa today takes on issues regarding African traditional medicine. Stay tuned.
All right, y'all, welcome back. I mentioned earlier that today we're talking about traditional African medicine. And my guest today is the founder and the CEO of Greenland Natural Medicine, Dr. Abdulkarim Abdullahi Aminu. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome to Len On Africa.
Thank you.
All right, now let's get started talking about traditional African medicine. Give us your overview, your general overview about traditional African medicine, if you will.
Okay. Traditional medicine has been developed from the in Egypt. Yes, the origin of traditional medicine starts from Egypt. Even the modern medicine starts from Egypt as well, where we have all the kind of leaves and roots or stems and prepared for medicinal values.
Okay.
All these medicines are what we use from our forefathers, or we say from the ancient world. All the kind of things you have been seeing around your environment and so on is used as a traditional medicine. It's just from our old generations that has been transferred, which has already been documented, and all our forefathers that know more about medicine use them and continue using it up to date.
All right, so you have been practicing for about 20 years now.
Yes, madam.
Okay, great. Can you share with us any particular incident or case that left such an impression on you in all your 20 years of practice?
Oh, yes. In the positive way.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we have a lot of testimony, and we have practiced so far so good. A lot of testimony, and you see, traditional medicine is just like your normal organic you have within your environment, that you can just go and get. It's just like you saying you don't take herbal medicine and you eat vegetables, you eat bitter leaf, you eat other things. All those things are herbal. Yes, all those things are medicinal. They have their own medicinal values. So you taking all those kind of cloves and other things to prepare maybe your tea and so on, it means you're still taking herbal. So far so good. All the kind of treatment we have been given so far, we give God the glory. We have seen the impact of what we call traditional medicine or herbal medicine.
That's interesting. Now let's talk about preservation of knowledge. We know that most of this, let me use the word recipes, are passed down from generation to generation. So how possible has it been to preserve these, recipes? Despite the fact that it's being passed out orally most of the time. A grandfather passes down to the grandson and all of that. So how possible has it been to preserve it?
To be honest with you, is one of the challenges we are facing in the practice of traditional medicine. Yes, most of us are gone advanced and started looking for more advanced knowledge on other parts of the world. Meanwhile, we are forgetting the origin of how we have been managing the different kind of illness through the local herbs that we have. But so far, we will still have the ones that we have documented, and we still give God the glory. Our children are still having interest in it. unlike before, where you take it to be of a babalawo issue. Everybody will just tell you, no, 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 no. How will my son be a babalawo or all these things? It's not like that. Everybody, if you go to the Western world, like the Indian, yeah, I've been to India where I noticed we have a hospital off where they practice the conventional medicine. Meanwhile, the ground floor is herbal.
I see.
Yes, it's just alternative medicine. So the world have seen it in that way, and if you have traveled to America and so many advanced countries or developed countries, they are still into herbs.
Okay.
All the products we are seeing now we call supplement and so on, they're herbs. And it's because even the Western world or the, let me say, the developed countries now, that is what they use. Just they don't go into all this conventional medicine.
This drawback when it comes to traditional African medicine, or like you have said now, herbs? Why do people want to pull away and not be associated with it most of the time?
The mentality in it before was that it doesn't have a dosage. Yes, people just think of getting the roots from backyard or getting something from their tree, just peeling off some leaf and other things and boil and drink without dosage. No.
Is that a legitimate concern, lack of dosage?
Yes, that is the legitimate concern.
Okay.
The lack of knowledge of having the dosage, how many quantity, or what is the level, how many meal are we going to take in the morning, how many are we taking in the evening, if it is once daily, how many are we taking? So all those things are what is getting off from people's mind, are thinking, there is no scientific proof of these things, but so far so good, all these things are beyond that.
I see.
Yes, now traditional medicine have dosage. If you go into the Western world, you will notice everything are being packaged like the normal conventional medicine. Okay. You will see them in syrup, you find them in tea bag, you find them in tea, you find them in, let me say, powdery form, where you can just prepare it like your normal tea, like stroke.
Yeah.
Yes, you just pour it in your mouth and lick them.
Okay.
Yes. So all those things are now being tackled, and we now have dosage when it comes to traditional medicine. Okay. Yes, it's unlike the conventional, the old method of practice. Now the modern practice of traditional medicine have given us the broad way of, we have dosage, we have a board that is governing us in the whole nation.
Let's talk about the board, because I was going to get there.
Yes, we have the board.
Is it a regulatory board? Or
yes,
is it
just a regulatory board.
Yeah.
We have regulatory board, and we are still under NAFDAC. The NAFDAC still regulates traditional medicine in Nigeria. Okay. Anything you are taking that has to do with medicine, NAFDAC are in charge. Okay. They have to check whether there is what we call acute toxicity tests. Those acute toxicity tests has to go through a university, or maybe any kind of university that they go through pharmacognosis, Department of Pharmacognosis. Okay. So they go through those and check them through the animals and see if they are safe for us for consumption. So those products have been tested. They have to be tested for your consumption, whether they are fit for you in your health, or what is the dosage. We use those things to measure dosage. And meanwhile, NAFDAC has been able to checkmate every company that produces herbal medicine. Yes, you cannot package any product without a NAFDAC approval, and you cannot publicly sell your product without a NAFDAC approval. So with this, we have advanced, and we're advancing every day. Yes, in Africa, we are good. We are good.
Okay. Do you think that these regulations and these steps generally have limited some practitioners? Those who are still hell-bent on doing it the way that it has always been done. Has this regulations limited some practitioners?
Yes, it has. It has, in maybe, let me say, 30%. Okay. Because most of the people that have the knowledge, it's not that they have benched them away from the practice. No, it's just that they are trying to put them in front so that they can advance in knowledge to develop it and add value to those products. Okay. Yes, in Nigeria we export products out of country. We export herbal product now in Nigeria. Yes, or you can find our product even in the US. Okay. Yes, we have products in Germany, we have products in any part of the world. Yes, and we still go all the way to those countries too. They still have herbal supplements or herbal drugs that can still be medicinally valued to our health. And we import them too.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about sourcing materials. You've mentioned herbs. Are all the herbs used in traditional African medicine found in Africa?
Yes. Most of the raw material are found in Africa, but some you have to still source them abroad.
I see.
Yes, some will still source from them in abroad just because of some extracts, how to extract those things from the plants or from the animal.
Okay.
Yes, like the one we call the collagen. We have a supplement or the product we call maybe alpha peptide collagen. Those are extract from the animals. Yes, you can get it only from animal. Yes, which can help you build a very good skin. Yes, yes. If you want to look very glowing, you just take peptide collagen. You look very beautiful.
You actually do look good.
Thank you.
All right, now earlier when we were talking about preservation of knowledge, you mentioned that you know, these days younger people are more open to learning from their parents who are doing this. Is that the only way we can preserve knowledge?
No, no, no.
This particular knowledge?
No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Yes, we give God the glory now. In some university are coming into it now.
Okay.
Yes, University of Ibadan, all those ones, they are coming into
to have courses
that has to do with alternative medicine.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, there are universities that are going into it fully now. Even the production pharmacists now, they bench into it at times and say, okay, let's just go into alternative medicine. There are countries in abroad that are advancing in it all the time. If you go to China, you find almost a complete generation. They have not forgotten just one recipe of a product. Maybe if it is just for a cholesterol, you see them backing on it, producing in mass quantity and pumping it out to the whole world to use, which they are more effective. Yes, and we also have them in Nigeria here too. All the kind of research we have from our forefathers, we are developing it, we are keeping them in written. So we have to go and source those books, how they use them, how they have managed different conditions. So from there, we'll be able to have a book and produce some books and from the universities to be able to use them.
All right, that's
yes,
great.
Transfer knowledge.
Okay. Now, another concern that a lot of people have in this part of the world, that's Africa, is research. They need some level of research to validate the efficacy of these drugs, not just results, but research as well. Is there any research going on or that has recently just gone on concerning any of these herbal products? In Africa,
in Africa, yes. You can see during the COVID, you could see a lot of countries in Africa started producing different things to help us in solving our COVID issues. And so far, so good. All those countries that developed their herbal way of solving the COVID virus, that they are able to do good. And many people were so happy that, yes, we can manage our situation within our localities. Yes, and so far the product, our government are trying to build so many agencies that can help in terms of funding research. In alternative medicine is supposed to have the best when it comes to funding, when it comes to research.
How so?
Yes, because we are sourcing those material locally. Some of the material are sourced locally. If you reduced the amount of drugs we import into this country by using our local herbs or by using our local made products, you will find out this country can be reached within 3-4 years.
Interesting.
Yes. If you go into the calculation, you will find out Nigeria spent a lot for health, seeking for health abroad. Meanwhile, all these things, we have them in our localities. If you go to Zaria now, you can find a leaf, like a normal moringa leaf that you know, which can even solve so many things for you.
I see. So what exactly is the challenge? Is it that we don't have enough practitioners, or we don't have practitioners who are verified or whose products are verified? Or what exactly would you pin as the major issue?
The major issue is the government needs to come in now. I see. Yes, to add value to what we are doing.
Is NAFDAC not doing enough?
NAFDAC is not doing enough. We have to get some funding.
Oh, funding.
And also, the government have to encourage people to know that this is alternative medicine is not a crime. You understand? It's not a quack issue. It's not about quack. Yes, if you have a body in China, in America, in Ethiopia, in neighboring countries like Egypt practicing, and they are being recognized in the world. That means why are we not encouraging our local producers here?
Okay.
If they encourage the local producers here, definitely you will see results. 3 companies can come and own a factory
Okay.
that they can produce, if it is just medicine that has to solve malaria,
Okay.
for instance, just malaria, you will be shocked with the level of the impact they will get.
So funding is where you think government comes in?
Yes.
All right.
Funding can bring up all the equipment down to Nigeria,
Okay.
where we can use to extract some leaf, to dry up some leaf, to grind them, to do so many things.
All right. Wow.
Yes, to make them look more presentable, and we'll be able to have good dosage on them.
Okay. Now let's talk about a very important aspect of this. Integration with Western medicine. Is there a possibility of it? If there is, please share your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I've earlier said I've been to India,
Yes.
where I found a hospital of an alternative medicine ground. All these things are very possible.
Okay.
Yes, you know, we just find ourselves in a country where the mentality is not getting us to the right directions. But alternative medicine is a practice where people have gotten results. So many permanent solutions to so many health challenges.
Okay.
Why do we call it alternative medicine? Because if you have been moving helter skelter for other challenges that you don't find the real results, you end up in alternative medicine. Yes, that is why we call it alternative medicine. You end up under us. You coming to us now, we will now give you what our forefathers have been using to get solution to those things. Then why can't us encourage each other and get to it? So the conventional medicine can still come in, like the ones with the conventional medicine. When it comes to maybe treatment of malaria, they have the equipment they can use to test you and tell you, oh, you have malaria.
Yes.
After the NP, then we'll check. We'll say, okay, this is malaria. Okay, this herbal medicine that you've used before to treat also person for malaria, can we try it on this person? If it's having maybe 3+ or 2+, you'll be able to use that one and get a dosage and say, okay, yes, which we have been doing now.
Okay.
Most of us now use the clinical result, the diagnosis from the hospital, to now prescribe with alternative medicine.
Really?
Yes. And it's making sense.
Okay.
We are not getting, how do I put it, we are not defying the function of the conventional medicine, but we are into supporting them.
Okay.
To just see how we can merge together and get it right.
Okay.
Yes, we are fighting the same problem. If you are fighting headache, then definitely if the result is with you, or maybe the outcome of, or the result of solving that problem, the solution is with you, then we'll get it done.
Okay. Now let's talk about a very worrisome aspect of traditional African medicine, and that's the, well, I know you mentioned that it's a mindset people have. They think everybody's a quack in this sector, but you cannot deny that there are actually quacks.
Yes.
Then there's also the influx of a lot of products that seemingly solve everything. Please, could you help demystify that today? Is it possible that a product can solve close to 60 ailments? Please clear the air for us today.
Okay, that is the impression everybody has, please.
Yes.
But it's not.
Okay.
Yes. You having a single product and you say it works for headache, it works for arthritis, it works for stomach, maybe ulcer, it works for different diseases. No, it's not.
Okay.
Yes. Now there's different kind of products, which you can say, okay, what do you have for kidney, please? You say, okay, yeah, we have this thing that helps you to flush your kidney and makes it detoxify the kidney and so on.
Okay.
Unlike the old way of practicing, where we have this plant for this plant for that, and we merge all together and cook it up and say, oh, madam, don't worry, if you have malaria, you have typhoid, you have ulcer, these same products, I've cooked everything together, so everything will give you results. No.
Okay.
Now we have them in different form. What you have for, okay, maybe for fertility, And fertility, in what kind of fertility? Under fertility, we have different things. Yes, maybe it's the hormone, the female hormone imbalance and so on, hormonal imbalance, or her prolactin and so on. So you check what is the real fact, what is the problem. You knowing the problem, then we'll not pick which one helps your prolactin, which one regulates your prolactin, which one takes care of your female hormone and other things.
Wow, that's quite interesting. And that gives me quite a lot of hope because, you know, the mindset is not, it's not like people just want to look down at traditional African medicine. It's just because of what they have seen, what they have heard, and the bogus promises that are being made. All right, before you go, I would like to find out, how does a person, you know, get into traditional medicine practice? How? Is it handed down from your fathers? What if your father was not a traditional or an alternative medicine practitioner? So how does a person get started?
Yes, so many people now come in as auxiliary. They come in and say, okay, doctor, please, we want to learn, traditional doctor, we want to learn how to practice, and I want to know more about traditional medicine.
I see.
Okay, it will take you maybe 15 years or 10 years to learn all these things. You said, okay, I'm ready.
Wow.
Yes, it happens.
Okay.
And meanwhile, I said it earlier that schools are coming up,
Yes,
where you now go into the university
Yeah.
and practice and come out with your BSc in terms of practicing.
So the alternative to that
Yes.
is being like an apprentice.
Yes, like an
Learning
apprentice. You learn
by
it,
observation.
then you just don't get certificate anyhow. You have to come. There is board of
Yeah, you
traditional
mentioned
medicines.
so, you mentioned.
Those board will now still examine you. Who is your boss? Were you trained very well?
Wow.
Where are you, what are you still lacking? And the ethics of the job has to be transferred to you. The rules and regulation has to be given to you. We have to give you everything in details before, you know, anything that has to do with health.
Yeah.
There is no mistake.
Of course.
No mistake.
I totally understand.
Yes. No
Thank
mistake.
you so much. It's been such a pleasure having this conversation with
Thank
you.
you.
It's
The
been
pleasure
quite
is mine.
enlightening.
Thank you.
You have been listening to Len On Africa, and today we've had Dr. Abdul Karim Abdullahi Aminu, founder and CEO, Greenland Natural Medicine. Thank you so much once again.